The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am Mr. Friday Night, and the show pony himself, David Rodgers. No Byron Bagwell tonight, but look who we got, man. Just happened to be riding by the studio, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We're going to talk about his show and what he does for us on the Spot Motorsports Media. And right along with the Dancing Destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. Great to have you along, right along with Austin from Austin's Weather Service. He'll be giving us a weather report here in just a few minutes. Tonight's show is sponsored by Mitchell Gunner Racing, and the On the Spot Motorsports Media page. Tune in on Thursday nights to hear the latest from the guru of motorsports, Mitchell Gunner himself. And by On the Spot Lawn Care, no more. I'll tell you about that here in just a bit. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. I'm going to ask, Mitchell, do you mind saying the prayer tonight?
Not at all.
All right. Why don't you give us a little prayer tonight since you joined us?
Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us gather here tonight to bring our viewers the news and what's happening around the area. Lord Heavenly Father, also please keep a hedge of protection over us and our families, and also our armed services and our police officers and firemen. Without further ado, thank you, Lord Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen. All right, let's stand for our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Austin Stevens, since he hasn't been here for a while, if he'd lead us in our pledge.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you, Austin Stevens. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Welcome into the show. My name is David Rodgers, creator and host of On the Spot with David Rodgers. Right beside me here is the host of a new show that we created within the past year. If you haven't seen it, it's called On the Spot Motorsports Media. And Mitchell Gunner hosts that, and he's co-hosting with me tonight because there is no Byron Bagwell. We have Mr. Austin Stevens getting ready to do the weather for us, and here in just a little bit, I don't know what he just said there. I think he's trying to make I think he was trying to make a funny. I don't know what happened there. And then the Dancing Destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. Glad to have you in. Dave, I want to start with you real quick before I get to the patriotic quote of the night. Tell us what's been going on with you, and do you want to get into what's happening here within the next 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, I could share a little bit.
Absolutely.
I have been able to terminate my lease for my shop, my hair shop. Yep. So we are going to close that location the end of July. Okay. And open up our new location at the old Times Union building north of town, North 301, 1605, North Temple Street to be exact. And that should be doing business not far after, maybe the 5th of August or something.
Right, okay.
Move stuff out of one, put stuff in another one, and open up the doors.
Yeah, and this is you're going to have some other hairstylists as well. Anybody that wants to come down with you is going to be able to. So some of the people that visit, maybe just not you, but some other hairstylists will have that opportunity if those hairstylists decide they want to come to the new location.
Correct. I'm going to offer them a chair. A rental chair,
right.
Not a 1099 or an employee.
Right.
So they'll kind of have their own business within the business.
Within the business. That's
Yes.
good. So same price, still $10 haircuts, or are you modifying some things, or?
For me, it's going to be the same price. For
Okay.
the other individuals, I can't control their price.
Right. But for you, Dave Holland himself, whoever gets their haircut from you, it's
Yeah.
still $10.
$10 haircut.
I need a haircut.
So, yes, you do, by the way.
That's going to be $50.
That's going to be, yeah, you ain't kidding. Hey, $50 up front.
How much percentage of that is inflation?
Well, you can call it what you want, man. Hey, he's going to have to have a new pair of scissors after that one. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest. Mitchell, you have had the honor and pleasure sitting up in the booth and calling a couple of games, especially when I was out. And knowing the Tornado football players, we've got a young man that I've always respected. Nice young man. He's popular in his community. He's popular at his school. He does the right things. We know his father really well because his father has sat here and played the guitar a couple of times, which we know he's a great musical artist. But this young man, I think, has got it right on the head. I think he's working his way to do the things that he needs to do. And that's number 10, David. And you've heard me call his name many a times on the radio.
Yeah.
Hey, that's middle linebacker
Not
Jason
because
Clark.
you like him, because he does his stuff right.
Yeah, he's right there. He's in on every play. I can call his name in on every play, really, if you want to be honest. But you know, him and Torn Brazil, we're going to talk about all that. But we got Mr. Jason Clark with us. Marshall commit. He committed to Marshall. The Thundering Herd. You know that movie, We Are Marshall.
Oh, yeah. That's all
That's
that
where
just
he's
the other
going,
day.
man. That's where he's going. We're going to talk about that and much more with this young man as he's got. Yeah, man, I'll tell you. I want to ask you. What I want to ask him is, Mitchell, what he fell in love with up there. You know, there had to be something. I mean, West Virginia to Florida, there had to be something there with that Marshall Connect that he fell in love with because, you know, I think this young man and a couple of other young men on our football team this year, not only are we going to do as good as we did last year, I think we can do a little bit better. But, you know, these kids are still going to have commits from other places. And I want to ask him that because he verbally committed, and I believe him when he says he's verbal because I know this young man that he wants to go to Marshall, and I want to find out why. You know, Randy Moss came from Marshall, right?
Yes.
Chad Pennington came from Marshall. There's a lot of great football players that came from the University of Marshall or Marshall University. The Thundering Herd, I want to ask him about that too, see what he thinks about that.
Yeah, that Marshall, they're a tight group, man. They're a good example of what you call team.
Yeah, well, because of what the tragedy that's happened, and it's come over. That's come over. You know, that 1970 plane crash. I was 8 years old. How old were you, David? Probably then 12, 11, 12. You heard about it, but you knew about it because it was all over the news. 1970. Yep, they was.
I was 14.
You was 14, okay, and I was 8.
I was playing football in my high school.
Yeah, you were just getting ready to say you were probably a freshman in high school getting ready to play when this happened, but we'll get into that. Maybe you were 12.
No, I was.
Okay,
born,
all right.
Born in '56. I discounted that.
You discounted that. Okay, I got you.
Hey, everyone's finding out how old y'all really are.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we're telling our age. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to share this with others, hey, just Jason Clark, Bradford Tornado football middle linebacker, and also one of the team captains for the team, and we're going to talk to him here in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right, patriotic quote of the night. Here we go there, Mitchell.
All right.
Try not become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. That was it's not a founding father. It was a scientist. He got into science, and he was an inventor as well. Any guess? Any guess from the outside here? Again, welcome On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right along with Mitchell Gunner, sitting in for Mr. Byron Bagwell, the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland, right along with Austin Stevens, and our special guest there, Jason Clark.
Yeah.
Got a
I can
guess?
only think of one.
Who you got?
Thomas Edison.
Okay. It's good, yeah.
Let's see.
He was a scientist and an inventor.
Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. I think that's what our young man here has become.
He got into science, and he was an inventor.
Yeah. Been in a couple of things, yeah.
That's not a forefather, so.
No.
Give me a second, let me think about it.
All right. Austin, you got something?
I'm preparing a hot steaming forecast.
All right, hot steaming forecast. Well, unprepare that and prepare something with some coolness.
Unfortunately, that's
That's exactly what I figured. Dave, okay, you got Thomas Edison. That's a hell of a guess.
Graham Bell.
Graham Bell is nice.
Oh.
Jason, you got one? Those two good guesses.
I'm probably going to have to go with Thomas Edison.
You're going to go with Thomas Edison. That's a good guess.
Well, then I guess I'll be the peanut gallery and Thomas Edison.
All right, so 3 Thomas Edisons and 1
Graham Bell.
Graham Bell. All y'all were good guesses. All were good guesses. That is
David Rodgers.
Albert.
Ha!
Albert
Einstein. I
Einstein.
was actually going to go that route.
Yep,
I was like,
Albert
I think
Einstein.
he was the one I was looking for.
Yeah, he was. It probably just couldn't. Yeah. All right. Well, no, that's good guesses. All right, one more. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. I will tell you this. He was a great, great soccer player back in the day.
Sounds like some of David Rodgers' advice.
Only soccer player I know, I think, is Pele.
Okay, you got Pele. That's a good guess.
I'll skip this one.
You'll skip this one?
I couldn't tell you anything about soccer.
All right.
It's football.
Hey, it's football. What do you got there, Einstein, over there?
A hot steaming
Forecast. Who do you have?
I'm gonna have to pass.
You want to go with David Beckham? Bendham Beckham?
Nah, I'm gonna pass.
You're going to pass. All right, David, you got Pele.
Yeah.
All right, does anybody got Beckham? I'll throw it out there to you. David Beckham from England.
Oh.
You want Pele or Beckham?
Oh, I'll take Beckham.
You'll take Beckham. All right.
I got Beckham.
You got Beckham.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got, Austin?
I guess I'm gonna be the peanut gallery again.
All right. Everybody guessed Beckham, and y'all are exactly wrong. Congratulations, David. It was Pele. Made you change your daggum mind, didn't I?
Made me change my mind.
it was Pele.
I don't follow soccer.
Yeah, I'm with Jason. I don't follow. The only time I follow soccer, Jason, is the World Cup. Like for the men, I like to follow the USA. The women are getting ready to play here shortly. They're about unbeatable. They'll probably win this again for the 4th time. This will be 4 times in a row, right? If they do it.
Wow.
So.
And some of those players are going to be retired.
Yeah, the Rapinoe lady's retired, isn't she?
Yes.
This is her last one. She's what, like 40?
I think
Close
so.
40 or something like that. Anyway, I won't say much more on that particular subject. We're going to move on and get some things done.
Let's kick
here.
it down the road.
Let's kick it in the pants. This is the round table. We go, oh, wait a minute, Dave. We want to take a commercial break. Let's take a commercial break, and we'll be back with the round table right after after this message.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
10, 9.
This is a round table. We go around the region and around the table. How about that with the latest news and notes? There we go. How about that? Dave, can you kick off that first one for me? There. Brought to you by Harry Business at the Deerfoot Plaza. Not no more. Not after this month. He's not. He'll be right here on 301. He gave you the address.
1605.
1605.
Temple.
Temple Avenue. home of the $10 haircut, at least for Dave anyway. Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338. Right, Dave? That's exactly right. All right, Mitchell, why don't you read that
I'll
one?
let you go ahead.
All right, we begin in Clay County, where Keystone Heights City Manager Lynn Rakowski told city commissioners the Pipeye's Chicken Restaurant, now under construction or on Greenway between Dollar General and Walgreens, could open as soon as the end of August. Wow! In other Keystone news, the Keystone Airport can see new tenants moving in as work continues on new roads on the Bradford County side of the property.
Wow. First Baptist Church of Stark will be hosting a back-to-school Fill the Backpack on Saturday, August the 5th from 4 till 6 p.m. at the church on Jefferson Street. Fantastic Fire Brigade Gimlets will be providing the entertainment and music for the event, and it is open to the public.
All right. Farmers Insurance has announced it will end residential auto and umbrella policies in the state, forcing tens of thousands of customers to look elsewhere for coverage. The company said the move will affect only farmers, branded policies, and will not affect policies sold in the state by subsidiaries Foremost and Bristol West. If you have questions about your insurance coverage, contact your insurance agent.
Finally, it's time for the Recall Recap, featuring product recalls from the U.S. Product Safety Commission. So, Consumer.
That's right. No, you're good.
Product
You're good to
Safety
go.
Commission and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration this week. We have portable chargers and golf carts.
I'm glad that we
on the
brought
list.
this up,
Yes.
Mitchell and Dave, because the golf cart thing is what I really want to hit on. It's really prevalent. I've heard some guys at my work talk about this, and we're going to read it to you here in a minute. VA Rook portable chargers sold exclusively on Amazon.com are being recalled after one of the units caught fire on commercial airline flight. About 190,000 of the chargers are being recalled. Customers with questions may contact Quality Assurance at 951-593-9128.
What kind of chargers are those?
The VA Rook portable
Yeah.
chargers. That just
For
like
phones?
for anything, yeah, phones or anything, they make all kinds of chargers, yeah. So make sure you ain't got one. This is the one, Mitchell, that I'm really wanting to hit on.
Yamaha is recalling their 2023 golf carts because the acceleration spring can become dislodged, allowing the acceleration pedal not to return to its rested position. Posing crash and injury or death hazards, customers with questions may contact Yamaha toll-free at 866-747-4027.
I talked to some guys at work today. I was telling you about that. At least four of the guys has got this particular Yamaha brand.
Yeah.
They got it. Had a call, and they're going to have to send it back, or they're going to take it to a repair shop that's providing these warranties, the fix on these warranties, and actually the recalls, and get that thing fixed. Because if that gas pedal sticks,
Stick on, you're doing hauling butt.
and you're wanting to brake, and then you won't let you brake.
Especially if you're trail riding with it,
Yeah.
and around trees.
If I had
You
one,
know,
I don't want it anymore. I'll give it back.
Well, unfortunately, for something like this to come out, someone's probably already become seriously injured, or there has been a death involved
Yeah.
with their product.
All right. These products, plus other recalls, can be found on the CPSC and FDA websites. You can Google FDA recall or consumer recall to get the complete list, and we will feature recalls each week that could pose a threat to you. All right, Dave. And now, here's your on-the-spot weather with our weather guru himself, Mr. Austin Stevens for Austin's Weather Service. Welcome back, Austin. You finally drawn a paycheck.
Forecast is sent right to you.
I'm drawing a paycheck and I'm about to go on vacation.
Okay.
You're drawing a paycheck now? Well, I'll pay you, but I ain't paying you back pay for all those weeks you sat out.
Hey, I was doing your YouTube stuff. Come on, I was still running things behind the closed doors.
All right, I'll give you
I got a
25
question
cents.
for him real quick before he gets started. Is all this hot weather causing you to grow a beard and mustache? What's going on over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just tried to keep it. I've been kind of lazy with it, but hey, it's just my new character. Why not? Speaking of forecast, I don't like that 4th of July forecast that was posted in the community groups.
Man, it was so nice and cool.
Yeah, it was nice and cool out there. I didn't think I'd have a
I thought I was
problem.
going to have to wear a jacket.
Me too.
Well, what? Was J.D. Norman hunting me down?
No, J.D. Norman played a song for you, though.
I know he did. It got hotter after that.
Yes, it did.
I had to evacuate. But anyways, we're back to the forecast. All right, we've had thunderstorms today. We're in the upper 80s. It reached 91 degrees Fahrenheit with a feel-like temperature of 114 at our weather station in Keystone Heights. All right, so tonight temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. We got a thunderstorm line from Keystone Heights to East Palatka that will move east off the coast by sunset through 9 p.m. Showers and thunderstorms will continue 50-50 shot for the rest of the week. Springtime, summertime, boomers. Let's keep it up. Tomorrow, lower 90s with heat index values up to 105. Thursday through Saturday, lower to middle 90s with heat index values up to 110. And then by time Monday of next week, it will be in the mid 90s with heat index values up to 115. Back to you, David.
All right, hey, I tell you what, that sounds like a scorcher, man, doesn't it?
I bet with this.
Hey, I bet you can take a steak and put it out there on 301, and I bet you can cook it.
Well, I tell you what, I've been on the roof at the jail over there, Alachua County Jail, working on some RTU units over the past couple of days, and I can guarantee you could set an egg out there and it would probably fry within a few minutes. I mean, it's been extremely hot.
Yeah, and I want to hear from our guests on how hot it has been out there as they're out there doing some summer drills. I want to hear about
I
that.
think it's hot here. Look at Las Vegas, Nevada. Sunday in Las Vegas, it'll be 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And this heat wave is extending from California all the way to North Carolina. It's rebuilding this weekend.
I want to ask you a serious question here. Why the last 2 or 3 weeks, and y'all can attest to this, and you can as well, why have we had, excuse me, these high to hot temperatures and also the rain and storm pattern that we've been having? Because let me, and then I'll let you see if I'm right, which I don't think I am, because I don't know a damn thing about weather.
Oh, you have
So,
you have
I've learned from you. Because there's really nothing heavy in the tropics that is causing this. Is there really, Austin?
I don't want to talk about the tropics because Tampa Bay is 94.5 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
The water.
The water.
Whoa.
Right off the coast of Tampa. I was down there yesterday. That water is hot. H-O-T, all in caps.
Yeah, they're even talking about on the East Coast there that here in later July, beginning of August, we'll probably see surface water temperatures there.
At Jacksonville Beach?
Yeah, at around 90 degrees. Because
Which is record breaking.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, tell me why that's doing that, Austin.
So we have these patterns where you have El Nino and La Nina.
Okay.
Now, we're going into a super El Nino pattern. We're in a heat wave right now. But what I've been doing research on is it's going to be, if history is doomed to repeat itself,
Yep.
a repeat of 1970s through 1993 winter. Possible. Because we're going into a super El Nino, which gives the atmosphere the chance to let Arctic high pressure systems push their way in from the northwest down to the southeast region of the United States. Will bring in a lot of cold air, and then you'll have your wrapping lows between Cuba and Florida. This is not good, as Florida may actually have a very bad tornado season. Anyone new to Florida, since we have had a lot of residents move to this wonderful state in the last 3 years, Florida's tornado season goes from about Christmas to March.
Okay.
And it lifts back north towards, Georgia, Alabama.
And what I meant by the tropics is again, don't want to jinx nothing, don't want to do nothing. But there's nothing really out there that's flourishing, is there, Austin?
No, you have two things. In the Caribbean, you have wind shear. That's
Right.
what an El Nino does. It causes wind shear.
Okay.
That is the worst thing for a hurricane. It will literally tear it apart. And on top of that, we also have the Saharan dust, which is going to impact our temperatures and make them hotter. Also, lightning is a big problem. The Saharan dust actually will cause stronger lightning. So beware of that next week. And more poor air quality is on the way for us, which will get David's allergies going. So,
Well, so, and that's not that Byron too, man. Byron gets these things really bad, so, and Donnie Bagwell as well, so I hope not.
Unfortunately, that's what been on our radar, no pun intended. But hurricane-wise, the El Nino, Super El Nino is going to cause too much wind shear. If we do get one, knock on wood again, David, literally, and I'm playing a hypothetical devil's advocate here, it would have to be homegrown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was good.
And that's where we're worried about it, because temperatures are going to top 95 by August.
Thank you, Austin. I really appreciate the weather, and we'll hit that back here in just a few minutes. I'm going to go over some more local news. Audit shows excessive spending by previous city manager. Current interim city manager Richard Till has confirmed that the city budget has been overspent by $1 million by previous city manager Dale Walker. They're looking into that. That's over in Lake Butler. Lake Butler is having issues as well with their city budget. Over $1 million. Mitchell, that's a lot of money
for a small city like Lake Butler.
Yeah, it really is. School board member, do you know her? Erin Skipper. Do you know Erin Skipper over there in Keystone Heights?
No, I do not.
Told her colleagues that she wants the school district to abolish its police department and instead contract with the Clay County Sheriff's Office to provide security at the district's 52 schools. I did not know there was 52 schools over in Clay County. Did you?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, it's news to me.
Clay County is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about Clay County, you think about Keystone Orange Park, but
yeah, it's really all over.
Yeah, Middleburg has grown big time. You got some other areas that are constantly growing.
Yeah.
You got a school literally in the middle of the woods.
So,
yeah.
Shadowlawn Elementary.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
That's just going to be one of those things we're going to have to talk about the budget and see what's cheaper.
Yeah.
To have their own police force or bring in Clay County to do the work.
Well, and exactly what you said right there, Mitchell. She says they are in the business of education,
right,
and not law enforcement, and I'll agree with that.
And one of the things they can do the Guardian program pretty much like we have here in Bradford, where it is individuals that work for the school district as far as teachers, janitors, and so on that actually carry firearms with them to keep students safe.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Mitchell, back in 2017, 2018, they did bring the Clay County police force. The actual deputy was deployed to Keystone Heights, actually two, but multiple other high schools, not as much as elementary schools, and then they went to their own police force in 2019, and then therefore on out. Especially after the Parkland school shooting.
Yeah, well,
we're talking about regular teachers and administrators carrying firearms. They have to go through some real good training.
Some good training.
You know, they just not going to let admin loose in the school with a firearm without going through that training. But a lot of counties have started doing that, just not in the state of Florida, but other states across the United States as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'm gonna get some of this other news here in just a little bit. David, you want a commercial break? Let's go to a commercial break. Let's go to Miracle Automotive and Towing while we bring our young man in, Mr. Jason Clark, number 10 for your beloved Bradford Tornadoes. He'll join us right here on the set right after this commercial break.
Michael.
All right, welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Hey, co-hosted with me tonight is Mitchell Gunner on the Spot Motorsports Media. Hey, we're going to talk about his show in just a little bit. We got the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland, producing and directing the show. You just heard that awful weather report from Austin Stevens. And now, without further ado, I am going to bring on our special guest. You see him right here. He is number 10, Mitchell Gunner.
That's right.
Middle linebacker extraordinaire, coming back for his senior season at Bradford High School. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together, David, for Mr. Jason Clark.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome in, Jason. I'm glad that you could be on the show with us tonight. I know I seen you over at the Splash Bash, and we talked about something that's near and dear to my heart, near and dear to your heart, and we're going to talk about that as well. And you said, hey, I'd like for you to make an announcement about this, and I was like, what better time than, hey, on the spot with David Rodgers.
Definitely.
Hey, come on out here. We got 16 to 20 people live right now, but there's others that are chiming in on and off. And I can tell you, you can watch the replay of this show immediately after we get done. And then, of course, the YouTube part of it will be by tomorrow at 7 o'clock. As long as Austin Stevens is not busy. Austin, yes or no?
It will be up. It will all be automated because at 4 p.m. I am skedaddling to a vacation.
It'll be all automated. Okay, so you can catch it actually at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
No, it'll be at 7 p.m.
Okay, it'll be
it's going to be scheduled.
Okay. All right, so it's still at 7 p.m. Let me welcome in a couple people to the show. Dwight Allen, good evening, brother. Robert McGee, good evening. Appreciate it there, brother. Oh, that's awesome for you, Dave, I think is what he's saying. Jeff Goins, hello, guys. How y'all doing? Austin's Weather Service on. Shirley Bagwell. I know she was looking and saying, where's Byron? Well, Byron is working. Had a couple of more stops left on his route. He said he wouldn't be here. Patricia Baker's
Don't
on.
tell her that. Tell her the truth. I got him tied up at his house in his chair on the front porch, so I could actually step in tonight.
Well, Jason, plug yours. What you think of these people? Can't take this game. Get out of here with that. Patricia Baker said that. And, of course, Byron is on. Good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. Welcome in again to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Hey, special guest tonight is our very own Jason Clark. Jason, welcome to the show, young man. I love you and I appreciate you.
Yes,
hey, tell everybody hello there. And
how you doing? How you doing?
all right, how you doing? He's just a little bit shy, not much. Just a little bit shy there.
I know where he's not shy.
Where?
On that football field.
Heck no, he ain't. Heck no. Hey, meet and greet with Jason Clark at the 32-yard line, right?
With some thunder.
With some thunder, yeah. And he can bring his partner with him, too, the one-man wrecking crew, Torrin Brazil, and the Dominator.
They'll
That's
be bringing
what we
the
got.
wood.
Yeah, they sure will, man. They brought it last year, and I expect them to bring it this year. Again, Jason, welcome in. Bless you there, sir.
Thank you.
Want to just talk to you a little bit about your rise through with football. Playing as a young tot, and playing at the middle school, playing JV, and then you basically just become a varsity player. You've been playing varsity now, what, 3 years, pretty much?
Yes, sir. That'll be my 4th year start.
4th year starting, varsity. So, you can't get no better than that right there. And that's because this young man's got grit, integrity. He's got moxie. And that's what you need to become a football player. Let me take you back a little bit. Me and Mitch are going to take you back on a little trip. Last year, what a great season, 12-2.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, man, you can't beat that. We got a road loss, 10-7 over at Live Oak. I'm going to put a question mark beside that because I know about 3 plays that we should have had the football and we didn't. But hey, okay, it's a loss. We move on, right? Then y'all get into the playoffs and because y'all came out in the second half and really, honestly, y'all outplayed them in the second half.
Yes, sir. I'd say the same. They definitely came out hot, came out heavy. Played as a good team should, try to stay consistent the whole game. State champions for a reason,
Absolutely.
Very respected team.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely came out and gave us what they got, and we didn't back down,
No, you didn't.
We definitely gave it to them.
Yeah, you did. And a couple of plays here and there. The one play that really sticks out in my mind, and again, I know a loss, it goes down as a loss, but I do like to go back, and I know y'all went back and seen it, was that long pass play from Boda to C.J. Bragg, and I'll remember that. He pushed off Gavin Cook there about 8 yards to catch and make that separation, and really, that was, even though y'all came back and tied the score up at 21-21, that sort of put the, I don't want to say the dagger, but it just like, man, can we get a break? We just need one break. We need one break. And then Mitchell even said that too. He's like, just need one break, man. Get away from this kind of stuff. When they tackled McKenzie on the sideline, I thought that should have been a 15-yard penalty.
15.
Yes, it absolutely should have been a 15-yard penalty. Our running back there, my buddy, Pollard. Willie Pollard, when he ran up the center there and he got his head torqued around about 3 times in his helmet, I thought his head ripped off. Didn't call that. There was just some things that we, Chasen, couldn't get a break on, because I thought last year's team was definitely prepped to go to that state championship game. I thought you had the horses. I thought we had the people in the right place. We just couldn't get the breaks in that game. But I do want to say, I called your name about, David, did you write it down 52 times? I called his name in on the radio broadcast. Jason Clark. Jason Clark of Darn Brazil on the play. Jason just popped him over on the sideline. You played your heart out, son, and all of y'all did, and we're very proud of you. I don't care if we went to the state championship game or not. David, Mitchell, Austin, I'll tell you right now, to me, the state champions are sitting right here. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, Bradford plays them 10 times. I think Bradford beats them 6 of 10, at least. I'm telling you right now, knowing what you know, I think if y'all go back, put that same thing together and everything, I think y'all beat them 6 out of 10 times. Your defense was better. Your defense was better. Boda was a great quarterback. No. Team, and y'all are back in this game. Y'all are back in this game. Y'all are putting it to them. Y'all stopped them on the next drive. Yes, they got lucky and got a long touchdown because, like I said, by push off. But then y'all had moxie and heart, drove the ball back down, scored on them 21-21, and then the last 10 points. Into this year, what are we looking at? What are we expecting? What are y'all doing right now? Tell everybody that's not aware of football what y'all are doing right now in summer workouts.
So right now in summer workouts, we're splitting practice about half and half. We get some work outside, make sure to work, get our cardio up, and just a lot of mental stuff. That's a big thing. Just training all of us that every second we're out there, we got to work. There's no breaks, nothing like that. And then we go to the weight room, hit the iron real hard, make sure we're all getting stronger and all our bodies are built enough to be able to handle the fall season.
Good, good. Now, as a leader, and you're one of the team captains, I know that, and I know probably hadn't real officially named, but I sort of know this thing. Is Torrin going to be the other one?
Yes, sir.
You and Torrin. As the leaders of this football team now, where y'all are seniors, y'all really were leaders as juniors, but as seniors now, is it y'all's responsibility to get everybody going in the mornings? Hey, let's do this, let's do that. We know what we are. Does everybody know what they need to do? And are they ready to do it? Is there any? And you know, I don't want you to put football business out there, but I think everybody's motivated and ready to go.
Oh, definitely. We'll get in there in the morning. The players are really making it easy for me and Torrens and everything. They're ready to go.
Right.
It's early in the morning, but as soon as they get there, they know what the job's got to get done. They know they can go do stuff after. But they get there, they're ready to work, excited to work. So they make the job really easy for me and Torrens. There's, of course, some days where even we'll be tired and we'll be looking at people and be like, hey, we got to do better. We need to make sure that this intensity is a little higher. That's also another thing Coach Rodgers is big on is intensity. Intensity has to be up every single second you're out there. Has to be max intensity.
Mitchell, you got a question?
Well, you know, looking back on that one game that kept y'all from going to state, do y'all think that it's possible that we're going to get there this year?
I do, yes, sir. Definitely, if we do what Coach Rodgers is teaching us, and keep our head down and make sure we don't get too flaky everywhere.
I got you for a minute. Yeah, I got you for a minute. I'm gonna keep this one.
Make sure that we're not too flaky and everything. Make sure that we keep our head down and do what we need to do. Do what our job is. Do what we're taught. We're definitely able to make it for sure.
Good, good. A couple of other things that correct that kind of thing. Even not just at halftime, but in game as well. You've seen that. Again, like I said, if that push-off doesn't happen, that's I don't know what that score could have been. It could have been 21, 14 Bradford. It could have been, whatever it may be.
Well, but the thing is, it gets the team upset. It gets the fans upset when you see the refs out there how they are calling these games because it's not fair for the kids that are playing the sport to be dictated by grown men.
Exactly.
Throwing flags on stuff that shouldn't be called and vice versa.
Right.
Not throwing them when it should. So, they have to step up there to make sure these refs are being educated correctly to call these games right without being biased.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot what happened with that game right there.
I agree. But I noticed something in that game, too. You was with us, wasn't you? Hey, up there, you was with us. And you were trying to do the game, remember? And you did, by the way, you did a fantastic job on that. And I noticed with Chasen, Torrin, Khalil, all these guys that we got returning, like I would like to call skill players, I noticed, man, even though that you thought something was going bad, you never showed it. Is that your persona?
Definitely. My thing, even with this.
the discipline on the team has been excellent. You know, not causing y'all a bunch of penalty yards in football games on both sides of the football.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the practice
Yes, sir.
of working together and becoming a tight-knit team. And instead of trying to be a bunch of individuals out there and saying, look at me, you know.
I noticed that too, and that's a great point that you bring up, Mitch. And go, wow. And so I'm not worried about the skill position as much.
It's smart. He played offensive line. He knows what he's talking about. He goes to coach clinics and he puts in the effort. He tries just as hard as Coach Rodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's where it helps with that. There's not a drop off in the coaching staff or anything. It's always that everybody is getting better by the day. So the offensive line knows that, hey, I've got to get better today no matter what.
Right.
You know? So definitely from last year, without a worry in my mind at all, without a shadow of a doubt, offensive line is going to be better.
So how many returning starters are on the offensive line? We lost 3 and got 2, lost 4 and got 1.
We have 3 returning starters.
3 returning starters on the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well,
Yes, sir.
so there's experience there.
Yes, sir.
So there's experience there. So what'd you?
Well, one of the things, you know, when you talk about football, the most important thing is about your center of gravity.
Yes, sir.
And especially when you're on the offensive line, and how we can play these other teams with bigger defensive linemen and be able to look at them, figure out which way they're going to go to be able to shuck them.
Definitely.
And I tell you, and Coach Rodgers has done an excellent job doing that with the offensive lineman and the offensive line coach. Because we have played some teams that's got some beef.
Coco did.
And we don't have that much beef really on our offensive line compared to some of the teams that we play.
Yeah.
So.
What did I'd like to know, and maybe I asked you, and I asked maybe a couple other players, and I forgot what you told me. What did when it was all said and done, what did Coco tell you guys? What did the coaches and the players say? I seen you. You showed a lot of respect. You went over there and shook hands and talked and all that. What was said to you guys?
They definitely showed us a lot of respect, you know. They honored the game we gave them. They all came to the game, you know, just hearing the name of the 6 and 6 seasons we've had and everything. They're like, oh, this is Bradford, you know. They were a 1A team, you know. This will be an pretty easy game, you know. So they walked into it pretty high on hopes, and they got a game they weren't expecting, you know.
Right.
Which somewhat humbles the team. It also gave them some fire, which is also good for them, you know.
Yeah.
backers after their linebackers loved me. So.
Yeah, that's good, and that's mutual respect, and I like to see that. And you're right. It motivated them for the next week's game because they won 38-31 in that game. And I think, really, honestly, y'all took a little bit out of them. I think y'all beat them pretty, and I'm not saying you beat them up, but I think you hit them.
A physical game.
You did.
Yeah,
you did. And I think if y'all would have matched up against Florida High, I know they're a good football team too. I think y'all beat them too. So that's just my opinion, and again, that's where we sit with that. So looking at about the same schedule, just real quick before we talk about a couple of other things, did we pick up a kickoff classic game
Yes,
yet?
sir, we did.
All right, who are we playing?
We'll be playing Chiefland at home.
Chiefland at home. Okay. That'll be a nice little test now.
Oh, yeah.
Chiefland's good in 1A, but guys, y'all think, hey, he was just talking about 1A. Chiefland's pretty good. They've given Lake Butler and Hilliard and all those guys fits. That's a good football team, and they'll be here.
I was hoping y'all was able to bring back the Pierce County Bears from Georgia, because that was actually a pretty good.
That was a
game.
whale of a football game.
Yeah.
That was well,
That
lost
would have been
10-0.
a real good jamboree.
And they was #1 in the state up there that year.
Yes.
That Bradford man plays people tougher than what people expect. That's what he was saying right there.
And you look at Pierce. That's a very small county. Tell you what we need to do, if we're having that much of a problem, we need to give him an opportunity to come back on.
Yeah, well, it's back again a little bit, but yeah, I want him to definitely come back on.
Sounds definitely in and out, and
Is it?
videos
Okay.
intermediate.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to save what we had. Let's bring him back next week. Can you come back next week?
Yes, sir.
Let's come back next week. We're going to talk about Marshall, and I want to talk about this football camp.
So
The football camp's definitely very important. So we're starting to get.
Well, we might be okay.
Yeah, we may be okay. So let's
the
make
red.
it. Yeah, we're okay. So we're good. Yeah, I see the people starting to come back on. All right.
we're good. Verizon's working on putting up ultra wideband on their towers. They fixed the one down by the Walmart. And I was in contact with an RF engineer, and they're working on our other stuff, but I'm able to get a good clean signal on a business account.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Back with Chase and Clark. Hold that head up there a little bit. I know, Dave. I know. Well, let's go to the screen.
Green is like the green screen.
Yeah.
They're not seeing the Marshall.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the M, maybe a little bit right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
There you go. If you'll put, there you go.
That ain't doing nothing.
No, that won't do it either.
No, that's not going to do it. But you see.
Flip the hat up and put it against David's shirt. It should work. Maybe.
It's not working.
No.
That green screen's
It's
like
green.
The green. Yeah, it's green because.
You can put it on if you want to wear your hat backwards.
Smart. Now I can have my hair in control.
There you go.
There you go. So, here just a few weeks ago, seeing some things on the internet. You committed somewhere?
Yes, sir. I committed to Marshall University.
Marshall University.
Yes, sir.
Man, what a great school. Movie out about it. We Are Marshall. I'm sure you watched that 42 times or more. Great story. If y'all don't know about that,
Well, it's not really a great story.
No, but it's a good story to tell and make a movie out of. But 75 people were killed in a 1970 airline crash just right outside of Marshall University as they was getting ready to land in their airport, and lightning struck and brought the airplane down and killed all 75 people on there. To include some boosters, all the football players, the coaches, everybody. There was like 3 or 4 or 5 that were left behind due to injury or some kind of discipline that was going on. That's why it all started back, and that's where the saying came from, We Are Marshall. But congratulations on that. I am so proud of you. That's a great school, great learning opportunity. What sparked you to go to or commit to Marshall?
It definitely felt like the right decision. I'd say that was things that it felt easy. I definitely bonded with the coaching staff. The coaching staff is definitely the main place. Marshall's a great city. Marshall's a great college. Huntington I should say that's the name of the city actually.
Yep.
Great place. but it's definitely the coaches. The coaches are a tight-knit group. They're all from Alabama, under Nick Saban, so they know what they're coming.
Anybody coming from under
Yeah,
Nick Saban knows what's going on.
This will be their second year there, and they got it moving. They're definitely on the upswing. They're the first G5 school to have a training table.
Really?
Yep. They're looking at, everybody's saying they're looking at a 10-win season next year.
Really?
Yep. Wow. Beat Notre Dame last year.
Sure did.
They're definitely
Yeah,
on
they
the
did.
now. The coaches just know what they're
Beat
doing.
Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
So what conference are they in again?
They're in Sunbelt, I believe.
Are they along with Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina and those guys?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Yeah, I believe you're
Yes.
right. Yeah.
They are in the Sun Belt.
So they are in the Sun Belt. So that's good. I know they get TV exposure and everything. So you're going to be on TV. You're going to get a chance to play as a freshman, possibly.
Yes, sir. We talked about that I'll probably be on all the special teams my freshman year.
Really?
Yes, sir. And then second year, looking to start.
Yeah, last year they were 9-4 overall, and they were 5-3 for the conference.
Really?
Yep.
That's a pretty good record. And like I said, you got a Notre Dame under your belt right there, a win there. And did they win the bowl game?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So that's a good deal right there. So hey,
Yeah, they finished up third in the East.
Did the nostalgia, the history of that, did that attract you as well?
Definitely. Oh yeah. Everything's tight there. You know, it's actually a family. You know, some of the schools I've visited, some of the things are big party schools. You know.
Right.
A lot of smoke and mirrors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely there, it's just family. Keep your head down. You know. Get the job done. There's of course this college town. There's going to be some partying. But
Absolutely.
it's not
Absolutely.
the same partying. You know.
No.
I'm not really a party guy myself. I like to chill. You know.
Yes,
So that
yep.
attracted me as well. But you're there, and it's just a great environment. Everybody around you cares, you know.
Right. Did you get to see everything about Wheel Marshall and how
I
it was? Did you?
Yeah.
Did that struck you a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I love the movie.
Yeah.
I loved it before I was recruited by him.
Yeah. Did your dad go with you?
Yes, sir.
Did it touch him too a little
He
bit?
loved it.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured that. I know your dad is a big football player. He played here at Bradford as well. Had some recruiting opportunities, and now he's making music, man. So hey, I wish him well on that. I got a chance to talk to him just a little bit this past week because of you, but I'm glad that you committed to Marshall. What are you going to study? Do you know yet?
I'm going in for psychology.
Psychology.
Yes,
Okay, that's a great. I like that. Definitely like
To
that.
understand the game better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm planning on doing that and then coming out as a coach.
That's
There you
is that what you
go.
want to do? You want to coach? Okay. Well, there you go. Take it after Coach Rodgers. There you go. You want to coach? It doesn't matter. High school doesn't matter.
Preferably high school.
Preferably high school football. You'll do fine. I assure you that. But hey, let's take one step
Maybe
at a
here
time.
one day.
Hey. Let's take one step at a time.
That's it.
This young man, gets some exposure. Never know. The NFL may come calling too,
Maybe.
or the USFL. Or rock. Hey, I'm sure you want to play. Yeah, hey, you never know, man. Hey, it could happen. I didn't think Dwayne McBride. You know, I was kept looking for his name to be called, and there he goes in the 7th round. We're going to be playing for the Vikings. Don't know what they're going to do with him because they got Cook and those guys. But
They released Cook.
oh, that's right, they did. So McBride may have a chance. McBride may have a chance to play. Picked in the
you just
7th
never
round.
know.
Brady was picked in the 7th round. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady picked in the 7th round. And look what that career got him.
Yep.
So.
Well, you're definitely not going to be the only Floridian there playing it.
Did you know that?
I'm looking at their
Definitely.
looking at their depth and going
Look at
through
here,
there.
a
I mean,
kid
Ocala,
living in
Florida,
Tallahassee,
Tallahassee, Miami, Naples,
Tampa.
Fort Myers, and they were sophomores, freshmen, and juniors.
They're
You
going
know,
to be playing.
so that mean they got kids from all over the
Chipley,
place.
look at this.
Yep.
This kid from that McKee. Yeah, I remember him.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, definitely Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
City.
All right.
Tampa also.
So, we talked a little bit about Marshall. Tell us about this camp that you're going to be putting on August the 5th
Yes, sir.
at the stadium. From 6 to 9? 6 to
Okay,
10?
yes, sir.
Oh, you can tell it, yeah.
Registration will be from 5:30. Start at 5:30, and the camp will begin at 6:30, and it'll end at 9 with fireworks. It'll be called Under the Lights. I've had a few camps for high school where you play under the lights, and obviously a great environment. It's not too hot outside, and you're honestly just out there having fun.
Right.
But I think it's a great opportunity for, it'll be ages 6 through 12. I think it's an amazing opportunity for them to experience things early, experience how camps work, because that's a big thing when you get to high school. Camps are a big thing for exposure and summer work and meeting coaches. So I think it's a great time for them to do that. A great chance for me to influence them, hopefully in the right way. I believe that's what I can do all the time. Influence them, and then, you know, just let them go out there and have fun.
Well, you know, are these kids mostly going to be kids from Bradford, or are they going to be around?
Yes, sir. I'd say, like what I said with everything, is really Tri-County area.
Okay.
Just where most everybody will be coming from. It's free camp, so they're not paying to come. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a great opportunity. We're always trying to strengthen up our middle school football, which they graduate over and start playing at high school level. So it gives them a great opportunity to build character, build strength, and skills.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Who's going to be helping you with this?
So on the flyer and everything, I'd say the main people that all the kids will know will be me, Torn, and Khalil. Are the main three. That basically will be helping with. I'll be heading the camp. I'll be doing it through my organization and everything.
Go ahead and give your organization.
So my organization is TEN. It stands for Today's Everything or Nothing. My main things that I'm trying to influence are drug abuse issues in adults. Pretty close with that inside the family and everything. I'd say it's a big thing that people miss out on. A lot of specifically grown men handle stuff inside their own home that most nobody knows about. So definitely that, and then youth sports. I'd say youth sports is a big one where that really teaches kids and how to become human beings. You know, how to become great men. Have a great youth coach, and I think that's what made specifically my group, me, the Torns and Khalils and all that, who we are today. Just influenced from a young age to learn great things about that.
Well, I think it also gives those kids the opportunity to know that, you know, a team's not me,
Definitely.
it's us.
Definitely.
And build that kind of character within them.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I'm glad that you're doing this, and it shows the community, it shows people out there, you know, and I'm not saying you, but you're the young men today, everybody's got a perception that they're always bad. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this. And you know, it's always sometimes in the negative aspect, and maybe it shouldn't be. But then you get somebody like you and Torin and Khalil that's going to do this camp, and that just opens some people's eyes up and go, hey, man, you know, these guys just aren't about themselves. They're not out there doing this, doing that, doing this. They're actually doing something for the community, and it makes grown people like us and grown adults and like your dad go, wow, you know, there is some kids out there that's got sharp minds and are willing to work to not only help yourself, but to help the community as well.
Definitely.
And I'm glad that you're doing this camp. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, if you don't mind, or if you don't want to, whatever,
Yes, sir.
tell everybody where they can get a hold of you at. Is there a Gmail, or is there anything
I'd
that
say,
any way that they can get a hold
I'd
of
say
you?
the best way to get a hold of me is probably through my Twitter.
Okay.
Which will be Chasing Clark 10, or just you can message me on Facebook. But also have the 10 organization page, which will be the 10 Corp.
Okay.
.com. Yeah,
10corp.com.
And that's where you can find all the website where you can donate to it, where you can basically find all the shirts, all the clothes and everything, all the hats, and then where you can also sign up for the camp registration, all that, see the purpose of the organization.
And this is free?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Really?
The camp will be free, yes, sir.
Huh. Man, that's
Can you
great.
get David out there to run the ball a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what you can have me to do.
For that one.
Yeah, you better, yeah, you
You'll
better
play
get
water
that.
boy?
I'll play the water boy. Can I be Bobby Boucher?
You can be
I'll be Bobby Boucher. That's who I want to be right there. Wow. David, do you have any questions for this young man? Because I tell you, man.
You pretty much covered everything.
I just respect, and I know me and Jason don't talk a lot. We have before, but I mean, he just throws a vibe. Don't he, Mitchell? Just throws a vibe.
I like your character.
I do
because
too.
You just don't want to do things on the football field, but you also want to do things for kids in the community. And we all know that we live in a community here in Bradford that there's not a whole lot of things for young kids to do, and that tensely gets them into trouble. And you being able to hold this camp, my hat's off to you. I think it's a great thing that you're doing.
Any and every good example we can get in this town, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And just the way he talks, the way he speaks, you know, he was brought up right. And I really caught my eye in Byron's again, bring up that Coco game. But afterwards, the way, after all the handshakes were done, I mean, we were shaking hands, everything's good, everybody splits off. Chasen walks over to the Coco team and started talking and just, hey, great game, man. And I'm sure they was telling you that. Is that just, see, that would be something that I would hope would be instilled in me. It's just he went over there, man, and just started talking and congratulations and this and that, man. And it's like there was no trouble. It was a great football game. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose. Unfortunately, we took the short end of the stick, but they learned something. I know they did.
And the thing is, you cannot blame the other team if there's bad calls in a game.
No.
It's not that other team's fault whatsoever.
Well, you're going to fit real well in with Marshall. I mean, you got that team captain personality.
Yes, he does.
Starting right there. So
definitely. What's also cool with Marshall is as soon as I committed, I got I was their second 2024 commit.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
And then I immediately got put into a group chat with all the other commits. They were like, "Hey, go ahead and start leading them, because this will be your team." So I've already started in the group chat. You know, I text them all the time, make sure everybody's good and all that. So, yeah.
We're gonna watch
Here in just a few weeks.
next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, we're all on that too, but we're fixing to watch him next year. He's still got River. He's still got one more year in high school. So, a couple of quick questions. Dave said we're good right now, so that's really good. And I know you're not a self-accolade guy. I already know that. Yeah. I can just tell by the way you are. Yeah. But I know some of the awards that you've gotten. You know, at the banquet and some of the things that, and what, by the way, well deserved, no doubt about it. I know you're not a self-accolade guy, but what are you hearing as far as some of the preseason things with you and maybe Torin, maybe Khalil? If you just don't want to put yourself in there, maybe all of you. What are you hearing?
Definitely, what I hear the most is teams having a game plan around us, you know, which is also a great thing to hear. It gives you much better morale when you hear that your name is going to be game planned around. But I hear a lot of teams struggling to find a way on film and everything to find out where our weakness is and where to try to beat us. And even if they find our weakness, they got to find a way to stop our strong suits. And that's what they're struggling with. The few names you named, they don't know how to handle it. You know?
Right. Yeah. I got you. All right. So, and again, I'll reiterate a little bit. Are you an All-American or?
So I'm classified as a 2024 All-American. I believe that I should still be playing in the Army All-American game this December. Depends how moving to college goes and everything, and the decision I make then. But as far as everything's concerned, I should be playing the All-American game in Texas in December.
That's cool, man.
And that will be played at?
It'll be played at the Ford Center.
Okay, the Ford Center. Okay.
The Ford Center. Yep. So that'll be great. So Torin getting accolades as well.
Yes, sir.
We know Khalil is. Dejan getting some love. I know Mackenzie's getting some love. So I you're definitely playing All-American game. So they probably haven't really classified yet because I know the season really hasn't started. But Are you like an honorable mention All-American, third team All-American, second team? Have they broken down that far?
I don't
Not
think
really.
we'll do that until after the All-American.
Until after it's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. All right, football season, prognostication. Tell me what you see. I know it's pretty. I don't want you to tell me a record right now, but I want you to tell me who do you see starting, offensively, defensively. If it changes, it changes. But right now, what do you see in your mind? Let's start defense. Let's start where your strong suit.
Defense, we'll probably have our starting backers will probably be me, Devon, and probably Reese Wainwright. We'll probably end up in there.
Reese Wainwright, great football player, by the way.
Love him. He's grown a lot of respect for him.
Just be a junior, or will be a
About
sophomore?
to be a junior.
About to be a junior. Wow.
And then on the defensive line, we'll have Trente, Torn. We'll probably have Duke from Santa Fe down there.
Okay.
And then Jordan Daniels.
Oh yeah,
Jordan
Mr.
Daniels.
I know Rick, his dad. He
And
works
then,
at the.
around we'll probably have Khalil, Dejan, kid we nicknamed Molly, and I don't know the other DB to be exact, so I don't want to just throw a name out there. You know?
Right. Okay. Offensive wise, I know you're gonna get in on some offense,
yes,
but I know you come in on packages. But if you tell me to start, just tell me across the board.
Yes, sir. So if we're in a receiver set today, the first group of receiver set was, let's go from left to right. I mean, of course, it changed with formations, but
Yeah.
it'll be Khalil at wideout would be me at slot. I don't know for sure. The 5 offensive line, they're moving around a lot right now.
Right.
Different working out and stuff. But the other side would be Dejan at slot, and then Elijah from Santa Fe the wideout.
Okay.
And then we had Willie at running back, and then J Mac at quarterback.
And J Mac, the quarterback. All right, J Mac, got to keep him at the quarterback position, man. Nothing, man. I love Dejan. Don't get me wrong. He's going to come in there on some packages, but J Mac, he can see over the line. That's his height, and plus he's got a gun for an arm too.
How tall is he actually?
He's about 6'1",
6'1"?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, which is it gives you a little, gives you a little bit. So he's just a little shorter than you, right? Not too much. So, all right. Baker County looking. I know we got a kickoff classic with Chiefland. That'll give us a good test. Baker County first game right here at David Hurst Stadium, what we like to call the Dave. They're going to be looking for some reds on you boys because y'all beat them twice last year. They don't like that. They don't like when we beat them at all, but twice in 1 year. Anything that you see in them that can maybe give y'all some problems? And I know I'd sort of put you on the spot, no pun intended. But anything that you can see that maybe pose a problem?
I mean, I'd say the only thing is they have the same coach. So that means they'll be following the same successes that they've had in the past years. You know, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. Sometimes it appears it does, but success doesn't come out of nowhere. And they got a few young defensive players. They're a very young team now. They had a lot of their team graduate. But a bunch of their young players were playing already, kind of like we were a few years ago.
Right.
So it's honestly kind of going to be a hit and a miss with them. They could not be good, which is they're going to play us good no matter what. It's a Bradford Baker game, so they're going to play us like it's a state championship.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, as a team, nothing that I know of yet. You know.
Right. Nothing that you.
And then again, I'll see some stuff. You know, I'll film the stuff and I'll break it down. But then again, it goes to each week doing the same thing. Yeah.
You're a big film study guy?
Huge.
I figured that. I could already tell. When you told me when he said he wanted to be a coach, I already know he looks at film. You look at film all the time, don't you?
All the time.
You look at
that's my big thing. That was funny. I was at weightlifting state championships. And I was there, and then I had a kid from Oakley walk up to me. He was like, "You're the kid that goes and tells the team what play they're about to run." Yeah, that's me. I'd say that's the big thing is like, you'll see me like when you watch me in the game, you can probably see me walk up to the line and start pointing. Calling where I think the ball is going. We have all our names for it and everything. But just every single little piece of the game, there's so much detail in it. You know,
Well, and when you do that, and the opposite side, on the other side of the ball, they hear you calling out, hey, they're likely going to be running this play. It's going to come to the left side, and You know,
all we got to do
they're
is
like,
have.
well, shoot, they've already got
They've
this.
already got this. They're going to nail it
gonna
right here.
cream us.
Cream us right here.
You know, you kind of mess up their, what's the word I'm trying to say?
Scheme.
Their scheme, their concentration.
Concentration, yeah.
And I love that Coach Rodgers also has the trust in me that when I see something, he has trust. So it started last year, probably about week 2. I'd say even like week 1 Baker, at Baker, I was watching film like everybody else on the team. You know?
Right.
I just went and played the game. But about week 2, week 3 when we ran into Baldwin was a good game. I watched the
Yes,
one
that
film on Baldwin.
it was.
And then remember Middleburg had the 2 huge running backs.
Right, yeah.
And then, so that's the game where I started really concentrating on. Like if I watch literally every single thing about the team, I can literally tell them like there's no shadow of a doubt that I know exactly what they're going to do. You know. And then doing that with Coach Rodgers, I'd go sit down with Coach Rodgers. He'd be teaching, and I'd go in there and sit. Most of my day at school's free, anyways. So I'd go sit with him, and then me and him would have a computer, and I had a whole notebook that I had just notes and notes and notes and notes of everything. So that gained a lot of trust in me, and that when I was out there and I could see something, that I would change the whole defense for him.
That's great.
There was a funny video on Keystone where Debo didn't want to move. He didn't want to move. And you see me grab 2 players and move them to the spots, and they go and make the play, and I'm sitting back there, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that feels good, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, that's good stuff.
Well, I love the respect he has for the trust in me.
Right. Yes.
That I can be there, and he's not going to freak out or lose hope or anything when I change up the defense, because he always says I'm his coach on the field, you know.
Well, a lot of people don't know, but the linebacker is pretty much the quarterback for the defense.
There's so much that we definitely have to look at and read that a lot of people don't understand. I'd say when it comes to hardest positions, cornerback is the hardest position. I feel like that's easy just because of the physical ability there.
Yes.
They just have to be able to move so quickly and so precise, you know.
Yeah.
But I say physically, linebacker.
Absolutely, I agree.
We have to hit with the linemen. We have to hit a running back. We have to be able to run with the receivers.
Yeah.
We have to do everything, you know. It's just physically, it's a hard position, and a lot of people just look at that and be like, oh, it's just the big physical guys, and most of them are all messed up in the head, but they all know the game. And when you see like the Luke Kuechly's and stuff like that, they excel because they know the game. And you have to know everything about the game to be good at it, I believe.
Now, do y'all do a lot of communication on the field? Because, you know, being up in the press box, we don't get to actually hear what's going on in the field, but you take your cornerbacks, your DBs. While they're in their set, they're playing man or they're playing zone, do they communicate back to the defensive lineman or to the linebackers that, hey, he's running, it's a run,
Definitely.
you know, that kind of stuff?
We have an insane amount of calls, an insane amount of things. Half of them are made by the players, half of them are made by the coaches. But bringing up the cornerbacks and stuff, so we'll have calls. We'll make something random so that the team can hear us. But say they had something called like Alabama or something. Just say something random. That was a coverage for them. They would have to get in their coverage, turn around. Hey, I got Alabama. I got Alabama. I got Alabama. Turn. Hey, backer. I got Alabama. You got this, and they'll call what we got. Like, all right, you got Alabama. I got you. I got this now. But then basically how that works is like even what we used to do when we were younger was that we just like, hey, I got a tango. All right, let's go do tango. Where now it's just everybody knows what we're doing. So he'll look at me and be like, okay, if I have this, that means you have to cover that. It's just how the zone has to work.
Right.
So like, hey, I got Alabama. Hey, you got Georgia. You got Georgia. You got Georgia. It's just there's so many calls that goes. If you had his mic up, you'd be like, what are they saying?
Yeah. See, that's right, and that's a part of the game that I love. I know that. On an interception, on an interception, I know when I played, our word was Oski.
Yep.
Oski.
We still got it.
You still got the same? Yeah. So if you hear Oski, you know the ball's been intercepted. You better go hit somebody.
And
you know.
You know, there's a lot of communication if they come up with the front that they're going to bring their tight end. He's going to act as a receiver. They got someone in slot. You got the 2 wides. So you have to have that communication. Who's going to cover who?
And definitely for the fans watching everything, so you can believe us and everything. Honestly, if you just go specifically watch me, because I call every single call. I have to know each call. I have to give them out. I have to change the calls. I have to run it all. If you go out there and just look, and see what's going on in that middle of the field where everybody's turning and everybody's saying. You'll see all our heads nodding and everything.
Yeah.
You'll realize that we're actually yelling stuff. We're yelling stuff to each other, the different things we have to do, and that's when we'll be like, so it's more than just running around hitting people.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a lot of communication that takes part out there on the field.
What's
I
up?
came across this shot of.
Oh, did you? Did you come across something? Let's see. What you come across? Oh, look at there. Yeah, how about that? There's that camp you was talking about, wasn't it? Who's that guy in the middle? Is that you? Number 10. And you'll see everything about it right there. He's already explained it to you. The guy on the left, number 1, is the one-man wrecking crew touring Brazil. Number 2 over there is Khalil Cummins, speedster, wide receiver. Plays some other things as well. And then number 10 plays tight end, plays middle linebacker, plays a little slot back. He plays a little bit of it all. And that's our guest right here, number 10, Jason Clark. Give that one more time about the camp.
Okay, yes, sir. So the camp will be Saturday, August 5th for ages 6 through 10. Registration will start at 5:30. The actual camp will begin at 6:30 and at 9 p.m. with fireworks. We're calling it Under the Lights because it'll be at night. It won't be too hot, and I think the kids will have a great time. Spectators are welcome because there'll be fireworks and everything.
Absolutely.
Concessions will be open so they can get food there. I was thinking about bringing a food truck. Don't know for sure on that one yet.
Okay.
I might talk to a few people. But I do know that on July 4th, when we first opened the registration, we had a cap of 150, and in about 2.5 hours, as soon as we opened it, 150 was full. But we opened it to 50 again, and that filled up. And then just a few days ago, I made an announcement, and I opened it for one more 50. I can't do any more than that. But I didn't want kids that really didn't get a chance to see it or anything not make it.
Right.
So I opened it up for more kids than we initially wanted.
So you're going to split those kids up by pretty much it's their defensive players, offensive players.
So actually, of course, high school camps, the kids are mature enough. You can be like, you're a linebacker, you're a DN. Everybody knows their actual position. Yeah. That's where they want to go.
But when you get down to 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds,
but 6, 8, and 9, they really don't know that. So we'll actually be doing it. So you can see the format of the camp. We'll start out with a circuit. That's what most colleges do. You'll have a big circuit. So basically, you'll have me. I'll be a linebacker coach. Torn will be a defensive line. We'll have Khalil DBs.
Right.
Basically, we'll give each of the main players on the team. You give them a position, and then you have 10 teams, which basically have team leaders. And there will be 6 through 9. There will be 2 teams split up. They'll have different names or whatever, and then 9 and 10. Yep, 9 and 10. No. Yeah, 9 and 10. Yep. They will have 4 teams, and then 11 and 12 will have 4 teams. Basically, each team will have a kid on the team, out there helping them. Basically, just being a leader, make sure all the kids are not running around and everything's organized. And then they'll go through the circuit. It'll be 5-minute sessions. A lot of details, and really don't have to tell you all that. But they'll go through the circuit, and then after that, I'll go talk to them. At 50, and then we'll have a thing called tornado ball. Basically, split up the field into a bunch of fields, and then have each of the teams playing other teams, keeping inside the age groups.
I like that. That's pretty good. Cool. Now, what is your dad? How's your dad helping you out with this thing? What's he gonna be doing?
So technically, for the corporation, he'll be basically like manager and everything. So basically, most of the stuff that needs done, he's handling it for me.
He's handling it.
So like at the camp, he'll basically just be making sure everything's running smoothly. If you're willing to volunteer, we're taking volunteers. You can you can text me on Facebook. You can also go to Instagram. I gotta make a 10 Facebook, but you can go to Instagram and text the 10 page that'll go through the few of the leaders on it. But that's how you can contact us for that. You can also go to the website and go on there and say that you like it.
So your dad's not cooking burgers or anything? You don't have him concessions?
I should make him sweat real bad.
You should. You should make him. You should make him cook some hamburgers.
Now, are you planning on coming back during summer if you can from college and running this camp?
The plan will be every summer I'll have one.
Okay, good.
Hopefully, after a few years, I'll be able to do it maybe in Huntington and here. But the plan is to always have one in Bradford, the hometown where it first started at, always impact the community, always want to have a footprint here.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping maybe, you know, some of the Jaguar players will hear about this, or some of the players down in Tampa and Miami Dolphins, and they would like to contribute to this program. I mean, that would be really.
We've already had through the organization. We've already had a few people say that they'd love to donate. Because how it's working, it's not going to me.
Right.
It's going to, like, through the substance abuse, the money being saved for that will be going to destination recovery. So finding people who actually care, you know, actually want to get better, and being like, hey, we'll handle getting you somewhere where you can get better, you know. And then for youth, all the funds going for that will be going into camps where we can have free. Or even if they end up having to pay, not making them pay $80 where they can only think, hey, these kids that aren't really good financially still get a chance to come, you know, $20 come to a camp, you know, learn from the best. And then once my footprint grows and I know more people, probably have big guests, some of them, you know. But hopefully it becomes a thing where every year kids are looking forward to it. You know, like, hey, I can't wait till next year when I get to 10 camp, you know.
And you speaking of guests, that would be a great opportunity for some of the NFL stars to come out retired or currently still playing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, Jason, I'll tell you, man, it's been a great interview. I want you to come back maybe before that camp. David, we probably have an opening, right? We could probably have him on again in a couple of weeks.
Man.
Yeah, let's talk about this camp. This is very important. Loved about your story. I got one last final question I want to ask, and then I'm gonna turn you loose as we're getting ready to close out the show. What does Chase? I guess how do I want to word this question? What does Chase and Clark? What does the season look like for Chase and Clark? I mean, is it what are you getting out of this season? What do you want to see happen? I guess maybe is the correct word.
I'd like to see success. Just an easy word, one word answer. I'd like to see success, and I think we'll see it. Yeah. I really do.
I think y'all will go, and y'all probably may have one loss on the year, and I'll look for y'all to play in the state championship.
That's what I look. That's what I see.
And I hate to say that, you know, they may have one loss and not go undefeated, but sometimes you need a nice little kick in the butt to get you motivated to go on forward.
That little Live Oak little deal over there put them 3 in a row, didn't it?
Yes.
We're not having none of this, guys. I know you were part of it. Hey, another 3-game win streak, you know, and again, congratulations on everything that you're doing. Congratulations on the Marshall commit. And next time you're on the show, I want to talk to you about a little something that's all been near and dear to my heart since I've heard about all this. And I want your opinion on transfer portal and NIL.
I got you. Yes, sir.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, but we'll get into that on the next show. Maybe you can come over in a couple of weeks and let's talk about this again. I'm glad that you were on. Very knowledgeable. A lot of questions answered. A lot of things about you and Tornado football and Marshall football. So I just want to thank you for staying, coming on with us. But stick around right here because we're going to have Austin give the weather report, and then I'm going to fire over with Mitchell just on a couple of things. What you got, Austin?
All right, so the thunderstorm that we've been tracking that was affecting our headquarters has now dissipated over Flagler County. Temperatures will fall into the mid-70s overnight with humidity high. Dew points will still be high. Fun fact, Keystone Heights Airport on Monday morning had at 9:30 a.m. had a dew point of 82 degrees Fahrenheit with a temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit with 94% humidity, making a heat index of 100 degrees. But unfortunately, it's summer, David. I'm sorry.
I know it.
Lower 90s tomorrow. Temperatures will climb back in the mid-90s over the weekend with Saharan dust and thunderstorms. 50-50 shot throughout the rest of this weekend. There is a 60% on Monday with daytime highs in the mid-90s with heat index / feel-like temperatures reaching 115. If a extreme heat warning is issued, take them precautions serious, and heat advisories will be more than likely issued. Follow Austin's Weather Service at facebook.com/Austin's Weather Service for the latest updates. And like a few people on the page that I've talked about in the past, we also sent out automated messages to the people at the Stark Splash Bash, and they were grateful for them. Our automated system croaked that day, so I was up that morning working on it. But once again, David's show was saved by Austin's Wester's Backup Hotspot Services. And back to you, David.
Thank you very much, Austin. Appreciate all your help and everything that you do to put this. Go ahead.
I said more than welcome.
Oh, YouTube. I love that. A lot of shows on YouTube. So I know your dad was asking about that. You can be able to pick that up tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So anybody that's looking for the YouTube
for the military
shows.
For the military people out there, that's 1,900 hours.
Yes, it is. Well, it's actually 2036.
Well,
But
right now
anyway,
it's 2036.
well, it's because it's 8:36. But anyway, but at night, Mitchell. Thank you for helping me co-host No Byron Bagwell. I know he wanted to be on the show tonight. I know he really wanted to talk to you, but there will be other opportunities and other chances. I want to thank my senior producer and director and producer of the show, Dave Holland, the Dancing Destroyer. Thank you, Dave, for everything that you do on the Spot Motorsports Media page. Blowing up right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the Spot Motorsports Media show. Thursday night when he has a guest or when he decides he wants to come on, and that's our very own Mitchell Gunner right here. Mitchell, that page is growing and growing and growing. Yes. We have a lot of people that's tuned into motorsports. You a motorsports guy? You like motorsports? You like NASCAR or NHRA? You like NASCAR? Okay, he likes NASCAR. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But between that, NHRA, road races, everything, this page is blowing up, and Mitchell does a good job of putting stories out there. Mitchell, real quick, what do you have coming up, and what do you have for us as far as the show?
Well, right now we're working on trying to get a co-host. I think I may have finally found us a co-host that has a lot of knowledge around drag racing per se. We do focus probably a little bit more on drag racing than we do NASCAR, but we are increasing that a little by a little.
It is.
We're posting who wins the stages for the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup while the race is going on. Which we try to do that. Sometimes I may miss it because I'm on vacation.
That's right. That's right. You got to take vacation too.
But I do try to even keep up with it then. And I tell you what, we had a great time as part of doing the car show for the Stark Splash Bash just last week. Yes, it was hot. I think with the index it was 107 out there, and we about melted away.
Yeah, it was.
And
wow. It bear caught me.
93 at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office weather stem. It was 93 with a heat index of 108. Austin's Weather Service headquarters peaked at 97 with a heat index of 114.
Yeah, it was a really hot 4th of July out there. But I'll tell you what, we had several cars come out there that over 30, but a lot of people, they had to leave because they just couldn't take the heat no longer. Yeah. And I understand that.
I do too.
I was ready to go home myself.
Oh yeah.
Well, I heard on the street and around that it was a total success. You had a great turnout, and everybody enjoyed themselves. The food, the fireworks.
You're right. It was a great success. We had a little over 5,000 last year. We had about 7,100, a little over that, come through this year. Jason was out there. He can attest. It was a hot one, but I've seen a lot of people, Mitchell, on the football field getting wet. Oh, yeah. I think that was where most of the activity was going on. Yeah. But a lot of those food vendors sold out of food. What did the concession stand do? Do you know? I don't know for sure. Okay, I know that they were busy over there too at times. Good, yes. Yeah, we're doing good. I think the Band Booster building did good. So it was just one of those things, man. But like Mitchell said, for a car show and in 100 and something degree weather, you had 35, 40 stick around, right?
About 30? No, they left. A lot of them left. But I want to thank Michael Heater for giving me the opportunity to do that through on the Spot Motorsports Media. We're always trying to expand. Hey, I just purchased a switcher. So we do a lot of live streaming drag racing events out at Gainesville Raceway, and it's starting to grow. I'm getting ready to do 3 races here in the near future. The 352 shootout that Derek Putnam's doing, that will take place on October 27th and 28th. Great event. I think 12 different classes will be contested out there. They also have a car show. They have a costume contest. Just a lot of things that go on with it. Then we have the No One Fights Alone race that happens in December with Ben Whiting. This will be the second annual one that he put on. And then I got a phone call from him the other day that Rockingham Dragway up in North Carolina, they want to do one as well. So it looks like I will be traveling up there during the spring to live stream that event. So that part of the page is growing as well. Hopefully people will see what we can produce for them. As far as coverage on the track, we're looking at maybe buying some more receivers and transmitters, another camera, have 3 cameras switched through with the switcher, so people would have a full screen instead of having 3 separate screens or 2 separate screens on their monitor. I know it's really hard for people to see that on their cell phones, you know, when it's split screened. So we want to try to make that a whole lot easier for the viewing audience. And I tell you, I want to thank Jody Kennedy for the opportunity out of Gainesville Raceway to be able to do these things that we have been doing over the year. And she's been working her tail off about bringing in different events. Something that's never really been done at Gainesville Raceway is actually, I think, going to be taking place this weekend. They're going to have roll racing. That is where the cars start way before the tree, and they will roll up to a certain point, and then they hit the throttle real hard. So that is something that they're going to be doing this weekend out there. They got some index racing the next following weekend on the 22nd. So she's trying to do a lot, which I'm kind of glad that, you know, I bracket race out there that we're taking a break until September. I think September the 9th is the next ET and last ET bracket race of the season before we go to divisional finals. That's another opportunity that we may have as well, is to live stream the divisional finals from Carolina Dragway up in Aiken, South Carolina. So a lot of things is going on. Our traffic on the page is up over 857,000 people have been coming to the page and looking at it, commenting, liking, sharing, and unbelievable. Just a couple days ago was Warren Johnson's birthday, and I tried to post, you know, some of the birthdays for some of the drivers, and hopefully start trying to do it for NASCAR's drivers as well, and crew chiefs. But Warren Johnson, they call him the professor, and he's now retired from racing, but he still works on building motors. Well, it was his birthday. Almost 400,000 reactions or reaches on that one particular.
And how do I know
item.
this? Bing, bing, bing,
Yeah,
bing,
keeping David
bing.
up all night.
I was like, yep, somebody's birthday. Good night.
But we're really excited.
It was good. It was good.
You know, we're really excited about expanding the brand and doing more for the racing community. I had an opportunity that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Had the opportunity of going out to Vandermeer Speedway this weekend to fly out there. Found a cheap flight, but just got a lot of other things going on.
Yep.
Of course, you got to rent a car, or you have to do what's that thing that Uber. You can Uber. The good thing is that
Got to carry your equipment.
Well, I wouldn't have to really carry all of that stuff because I probably wouldn't do any live streaming. Probably just do some pictures and do some stories after talking to some of the drivers and stuff. Do some write-ups. But yes, their 65th anniversary at the track, and unfortunately, this is the last time that they will be racing at the end of October. That raceway will be torn down. The Vandermeer family, they are still searching for land. Possibility they may have found something out by the airport there in Denver that they can turn into. Of course, they have to get all the permission from the county commissioners and all that good stuff. But they have, 65 years in the sport. That's a good chunk. That's a good hit for that family.
Yeah.
And it all started with Tammy Brandemeer's grandfather. He's the one that started that. They had a local business in the area, wanted a safe place for kids to go and race their cars and get them off the street, and it turned out as big as it did.
Well, you know, like you said, we got a lot of big things coming up on that page and on our page as well. We're also working to bring something that's going to be fun to everybody. Me and Dave Holland, and I need to get you involved, and Byron, and everybody as well. Got a couple of things, like I said, that's going to be big and coming up. One of the things that we're looking to do too, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight, as you heard Jason, he's on Twitter. We're going to start opening up some more social media platforms to get some snippets and things of the show. But the main thing we wanted to do, because of those trends, David, that you just heard those numbers right there, we want to try to focus. And I've told some folks about YouTube, about going YouTube and then Facebook as the backup. YouTube would really right now with numbers like that. And again, look, you know, I'm not sitting here promoting money or whatever, but it takes money to continue the business. Some of the things that Mitchell wants to do, to go out to these racetracks and cover this for you. Nobody's trying to look here, you know, to get rich off of anything. We just want to be able to, probably like you with your deal, Jason, you know, enough so it'll sustain itself. And we can buy things, you know, do things that we're wanting to do. And like I said, you've already got a platform already established with that, and things carry themselves there.
Oh, yeah.
With me and Dave.
I was in Facebook jail for 7 days
and
for a
still,
post that I made back in 2022 of November of the world record being broken by a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And so the picture was of the guy with his 50 cal, and someone complained about it, and I got put in jail for 7 days for a post back in November 2022. Kind of hurt the page a little bit, but then again,
not really. It still carried itself.
It still kept on going. So it's now self-generating of its, you know, on its own. But you know, we want to start reaching out to. I know on the motorsports page, we want to start reaching out to people like Jegs and Moroso and, you know, big companies like that.
Bigger entities. Yes.
For them to have the opportunity to help us with funding, but also give them something in return, a good product, running their ads, people seeing it. I know when we live stream the races, sometimes we have views of 400 or 500 people watching those live streams back and forth throughout the day. And of course, we shoot the commercials through there several times. But, you know, we even having people from Brazil tuning in, watching drag racing going on at Gainesville Raceway. So.
Mexico, a lot of people from all over the world, and that's why I want to go. I want to start looking at the YouTube side. So I know a lot of you guys got YouTube out there, so be looking out for that. Like I said, me and Dave has got a creation that I hope is going to come to pass here within the next couple of months. We've been talking about it, and I think we can at least do a trial run to see what people think about it. We don't want to give the kitty away, do we, Dave? Just yet, not yet. We'll make that explosion as we see it. So again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. You can catch Mitchell Gunner on Thursday nights on the Spot Motorsports Media.
Not this Thursday.
But not this Thursday, he said. So just look out for his post on that page. I want to thank Austin and Austin's Weather Service for everything that he does, not only for the weather, but for the YouTube page. I want to thank our special guest, Jason Clark, number 10, the middle linebacker for the Bradford Tornadoes, and the Marshall commit. He'll be back on with us in a couple of weeks. Again, my producer, the man himself, the Super Destroyer. Hey, the dancing destroyer, isn't it? Super Dave Holland. No Byron Bagwell tonight because he had to work. And of course, Michael Heater, as he's able to come on and stuff. By the way, again, Splash Bash was a great success. We'll talk about that next week as we get some more details. On behalf of Mr. Jason Clark, our special guest, Mr. Austin Stevens, Weather, David Holland on the producing and directing, co-host Mitchell Gunner from On the Spot Motorsports Media, and co-host here on On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Have a great Tuesday night.